How am I going to know the creature? I never saw her, and she never saw me. You'll have to come too, Fan," he added, pausing on his way to the door, arrested by the awful idea that he might have to address several strange girls before he got the right one. "You'll find her easy enough. She'll probably be standing around looking for us. I dare say she'll know you, though I'm not there, because I've described you to her." "Guess she won't, then," and Tom gave a hasty smooth to his curly pate, and a glance at the mirror, feeling sure that his sister hadn't done him justice. Sisters never do, as we fellows know too well. "Do go along, or you'll be too late, and then what will Polly think of me?" cried Fanny, with the impatient poke which is peculiarly aggravating to masculine dignity. "She'll think you cared more about your frizzles than your friends, and she'll be about right, too." Feeling that he said rather a neat and cutting thing, Tom sauntered leisurely away, perfectly conscious that it was late, but bent on not being hurried while in sight, though he ran himself off his legs to make up for it afterward. "If I was the president, I'd make a law to shut up all boys till they were grown, for they certainly are the most provoking toads in the world," said Fanny, as she watched the slouchy figure of her brother strolling down the street. She might have changed her mind, however, if she had followed him, for as soon as he turned the corner his whole aspect altered. His hands came out of his pockets, he stopped whistling, buttoned his jacket, gave his cap a pull, and went off at a great pace. The train was just in when he reached the station, panting like a racehorse and as red as a lobster with the wind and the run. "Suppose she'll wear a top-knot and a thingamabob like everyone else, and however shall I know her? Too bad of Fan to make me come alone," thought Tom, as he stood watching the crowd stream through the depot, and feeling rather daunted at the array of young ladies who passed. As none of them seemed looking for anyone, he did not accost them, but eyed each new batch with the air of a martyr. "That's her," he said to himself, as he presently caught sight of a girl in gorgeous array, standing with her hands folded and a very small hat perched on the top of a very large chignon, as Tom pronounced it. "I suppose I've got to speak to her, so here goes." And nerving himself to the task, Tom slowly approached the damsel, who looked as if the wind had blown her clothes into rags, such a flapping of sashes, scallops, ruffles, curls, and feathers was there. "I say, if you please, is your name Polly Milton?" meekly asked Tom, pausing before the breezy stranger. "No, it isn't," answered the young lady with a cool stare that utterly quenched him. "Where in thunder is she?" growled Tom, walking off in high dudgeon. The quick tap of feet behind him made him turn, in time to see a fresh-faced little girl running down the long station, and looking as if she rather liked it. As she smiled and waved her bag at him, he stopped and waited for her, saying to himself, "Hello, I wonder if that's Polly." Up came the little girl with her hand out and a half-shy, half-merry look in her blue eyes, as she said, inquiringly, "This is Tom, isn't it?" "Yes. How did you know?" And Tom got over the ordeal of handshaking without thinking of it, he was so surprised. "Oh, Fan told me you'd got curly hair and a funny nose and kept whistling and wore a gray cap pulled over your eyes, so I knew you directly." And Polly nodded at him in the most friendly manner, having politely refrained from calling the hair red, the nose a pug, and the cap old, all of which facts Fanny had carefully impressed upon her memory. "Where are your trunks?" asked Tom, as he was reminded of his duty by her handing him the bag, which he had not offered to take. "Father told me not to wait for anyone, else I'd lose my chance of a hack, so I gave my check to a man, and there he is with my trunk." And Polly walked off after her one modest piece of baggage, followed by Tom, who felt a trifle depressed by his own remissness and polite attentions. "She isn't a bit of a young lady, thank goodness. Fan didn't tell me she was pretty. Don't look like city girls, nor act like 'em neither," he thought, trudging in the rear and eyeing with favor the brown curls bobbing along in front. As the carriage drove off, Polly gave a little bounce on the springy seat and laughed like a delighted child. "I do like to ride in these nice hacks and see all the fine things and have a good time, don't you?" she said, composing herself the next minute, as if it suddenly occurred to her that she was going a-visiting.